Alright, so we are going to start on the third layer for this bow here. So before you start a new layer, you have to clean the surface with just some water. And that does two things. It gets rid of any oils that might have found their way onto the surface, and it helps to make the glue tacky again. So clean it with just like a damp cloth, and then smear a good layer of glue on here. Thick glue, not watery glue. Alright, so dip your finger in the glue, smear a good layer of glue over the surface. It's good to be sloppy with hide glue because you can never use too much. Well, actually that's a lie, you can use too much. Just one good coat, that's all you need. Alright. So, dip it in the glue. Squeeze the glue out, flatten all the fibers, straighten them out so none of them are crisscrossing each other. Now, put the center one right here. Because remember, I put my last bundle in the center. So technically I did 3 layers, but I didn't do the sides for the last one because I want to build up a rounded back. I'm also going to stop overlapping on the sides because I have quite a bit. You know, it's plenty enough to sand it and have a good clean edge. That's what I want. So I'm going to be splitting my bundles in half to do the sides now. So I got one more layer on here, and it's drying in the sun right now, and when this dries I'll put the next one on. That'll be a total of 4 layers and 2 crown rows. Alright, so I got the layer I just did dry. You can see a couple spots where the overlaps were, where it's not quite dry yet, and this is fine. You can put another layer on at this point. So once again, I'm waiting for my water to cool down. I'm gonna enjoy a nice beer, and I have plenty more sinew to do one more layer. So I'm only going to film this layer, and all the rest of the layers I'm not going to film because it's the exact same process. After I put the last layer of sinew on, the very last layer, I'm going to dry this bow for 2 weeks. You want the sinew to cure before you take the string off. And sinew takes a long time to cure, guys. It can take up to a year in some cases if you did a really heavy application. But the reason I'm letting it dry for 2 weeks instead of a year is so I can take the string off and then do the overlaps for the ends so none of the sinew lifts up, and then this thing's going to cure for a year. It's going to be strung backwards again once the overlaps dry, and I'll film all of that for you guys so you don't miss it. And it's going to be strung just like this, and I'm going to put it in storage and just forget about it. If you cure sinew for just 2 weeks and then start using your bow, it's not going to be as good. If you cure it for 6 months to a year without having any humidity get into the bow, and there's several moisture barriers you can use, and I'll get into that later. But if you cure a bow for a year, you'll have a bow that you can hand down to your great-great-grandchild and it'll still shoot. That's what I'm after for this. This is my bow, mine. It's nobody else's. And I'm choosing to make a very small bow so I can stick it in a backpack, go hiking, and I'll have a bow with me if I ever need it. I doubt I ever will. But if I want to get a small game license or something, I'll get a rabbit or two and cook them up. This piece of yew wood I'm using came from the Blue Mountains out of Oregon, and it's a very, very dense piece, and it is a lot more of a red color than most yew woods. You know, it's a desert environment over here basically. Well, I wouldn't say desert, shrub steppe. But it is a very, very nice piece of wood. It took me a long time to find a yew tree too, because they're not very plentiful up there. And it's an important thing to take seeds from the yew trees and plant them around in the same area you cut down a yew tree. And they'll be there long after we're all dead. They live for hundreds and hundreds of years.